Think about it. If you travel to the past, that past becomes your future. And your former present becomes the past, which can't now be changed by your new future.
Exactly.
So Back to the Future is a bunch of bullshit?
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Stub Club. My name is Adam, and I hope you guys are having an awesome day and a happy Father's Day so far. Two things before we get started on today's video. Number one, I know y'all asked for a Spider-Man spoiler video. I want to let you know I am still working on that. Same with the movie update video. June has been a big month for movie releases, so I've had little time to make other videos aside from my spoiler-free videos. Thankfully, this next weekend there isn't any movies coming out that I'm gonna go see, so I'll have plenty of time to make those videos for you and get them up before I go see Indiana Jones at the end of the month. Now, second thing, make sure to like and subscribe with the notification bell turned on so you get notified every time a new video is up. And also, don't forget to leave a comment section down below and let me know what movies you guys want me to review. It can be an older movie, a movie that's currently in theaters, or a movie that's going to be coming out later this year. I'll be sure to leave a list for you guys of what movies I'm going to be watching so that you know what to expect with my future content. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get started with my spoiler-free review of The Flash. First thing I want to say is a lot of this review is going to, on the casual side, is going to be biased because I grew up watching CW's The Flash and studied a lot of the lore on his character and his enemies from the comics, even before the show came out. And the same is said for Batman, except I'm probably one of the biggest Batman fans out there. So you can probably guess how excited I was to see this film, despite all the delays and such. With that being said, before I saw The Flash, I went ahead and rewatched The Flashpoint Paradox, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I will admit, The Flash is better than all of those, except The Flashpoint Paradox. However, The Flash is arguably very close to being just as good as that film, if not better. Now, I'm not going to praise The Flash for every aspect of the film. There are a few scenes in which time travel explanation is involved, and it's kind of difficult to understand. Now, I'll help you guys explain it in another video if you guys want, but there are still events that happen in the film that don't make sense even with the time travel explained. Another thing you should know about this film is some of the CGI is kind of weird, and a lot of people are dissing this movie because of it. However, the majority of the CGI that people are referring to is in the Speed Force, which in my eyes looks totally tolerable. To help explain a bit more, imagine walking through a wax museum, right? The statues look like real people, but you can tell they're not. However, it's still fun to go through and take pictures and have a great time. And that was my experience with the CGI in this film. Now, the last thing I want to say is ignore the recent controversy with this film. I'm talking about all the delays this film has had due to having different directors, COVID, and even stuff happening around Ezra Miller. The Flash is a great film and doesn't deserve to be disrespected due to its recent controversies. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get started with the grading. When Barry Allen goes back in time to save his mom from dying, it creates a whole new timeline where the Flash doesn't exist, and he must team up with his doppelganger, Batman, and Supergirl in order to save the world from being destroyed by General Zod. I'm gonna be honest, compared to the Flashpoint Paradox, the simplicity of the plot is better. Not to mention, The Flash is almost an hour longer than the Flashpoint Paradox. Now, a lot of stuff has changed due to character swapping, but in a good way. And a lot of the reason I think the plot is better than Flashpoint is because of the drama and emotion between the characters. And I'll get to that in a bit. But for now, I'm going to rate plot a 9.7. The action throughout this film was pretty consistent. From the beginning of the movie to the end, there were some pretty memorable fight scenes and rescue missions. Especially with Batman, there were some pretty epic moments that I really enjoyed. Overall, I'm going to rate action 9.5. Like I said earlier, a lot of what drives the plot is the drama and emotion between the characters. When Barry is interacting with his parents, you can feel the love he has toward them. Or when he's with his doppelganger, which is pretty much the entirety of the movie, you can tell the difference between the two, and it affects the relationship between both Barrys. And lastly, the drama between Supergirl and Zod is very apparent because they're both from Krypton. But once Supergirl realizes the stuff Zod's done and is currently trying to do, it causes an emotional difference between the two. So with that being said, I'm going to have to rate drama an 8.8. Once again, in comparison to Flashpoint, this movie is very similar, which, going in with that knowledge, took away some suspense from the film, but not my curiosity. There too, there are plenty of instances in the film where certain events unfolded, and I was in my seat thinking, how is Barry gonna pull this off? Or who the heck is this guy? And even some moments in the final battle of the movie, I was on the edge of my seat in anticipation. So, I'm gonna have to rate suspense a solid 7. I loved the comedy in this film. When I watched Zack Snyder's Justice League, I loved all the moments with Barry Allen. But with The Flash, you finally get a whole movie with that same humor. And it's not even overdone in the film. A lot of the humor comes from Barry's doppelganger. And since he's with Barry the entire time, the humor is consistent throughout the film. But it's not just with both Barrys that humor occurs. Even from the beginning of the film, there were great moments of comedy that had me and the audience laughing. And with that, I'm gonna have to rate comedy a 9.4. Casually, I rate this film a 9.5 out of 10. Critically, I rated an 8.8. CGI and controversy aside, this movie is definitely worth watching in theaters with your dad, and also gets my seal of approval. And that concludes my review. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if I should do a spoiler discussion where I explain my thoughts more in depth on the film. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.